Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. We're taking a look here at Bitcoin, seeing what's going on. It's a pretty solid day here, of course, as you probably already figured out. Nice, almost 10% correction in the market, causing a lot of shorts to get squeezed and the price to just continue higher. So we're going to see how much higher this possibly could go, and then obviously, kind of help you understand best practice and big picture. So we're going to look at all that and much more. If you're new to the channel, just know, not a financial advisor. I love teaching people to trade, and I truly hope you can learn something today. If you want to become a better trader, go ahead and join the over 200 active members that we have in our community. I have a trading academy, community, and signal group. Link in the description below. CryptoCache.tech as a website. I do offer discounts for military and third world countries. Feel free to contact me direct with the information in my details below. So when it comes to Bitcoin here, this short squeeze was pretty fantastic because we're expecting a resistance level right around 19,800. Price action just blew right straight through that. So really awesome to kind of see this here for a change. First green day we've seen like this in some time. And it's going to be interesting to see if it continues. So we're going to look at some signs, kind of see if it has the potential to continue and kind of go from there. So something to recognize, first of all, kind of to preface, I guess you could say here, why don't we do this? Let's take a quick look at the traditional markets. First of all, dollar index is down, coming down to bounce off this key level support. We're going to see soon, of course, if it continues any lower, be fantastic for Bitcoin. But in general, that is helpful in the general sense that the traditional markets both gapped up here today, and we're looking very good. They're almost up by 2%. And 2% for a traditional market is more like a 5 to 10% correction in either direction when it comes to Bitcoin. So again, that explains a lot of the reason why things are compounding positively, in addition to the fact that there was a tremendous amount of shorts getting squeezed out right at that key level resistance, which made sense as to why they had those shorts set up there, because of the fact that that was a strong resistance level. But as we talked about previously, we would take a look here, we can see with these descending trends, this is no longer an issue. At least it's safe to presume that today we're not going to correct ourselves by 7-8 more percent. The likelihood of the price action closing above this first key level resistance is very high. We may also close above the other descending trend as well. And if you look back at the larger time frame, you can kind of see here that this descending trend has been continuing for some time, like ever since March of 2022. We can see that it's descending. You could even include November in this equation here, essentially, right? So it's a positive sign. Doesn't mean that we're just completely bullish, but I think a close today above 21,500 would be very, very good. Now, again, that's going to be difficult to probably get up there. I think we're probably limiting ourselves right at about 21.3 at this point. But we'll see, of course, here soon what we're looking at here. So, all right, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the standard stuff. First things first, again, we haven't closed our candlestick yet here today, but if you take a look at the RSI, excuse me, you can see here that 55 is a tentative price right now, or at least the relative strength right now for the moment of the last 14 days is above 50. If we can close above 50 today, that would be a very, very good sign, okay? That would put us up over a key level resistance. Now, we'll go ahead and take a look at Fibonacci here in a little bit, but for now, why don't we go ahead and kind of just take a look at some of the previous support and resistance areas. Now, previously, we had a strong resistance at 21,600. So we might want to extend that out here and see what happens with that soon, because that could very well work as a resistance level here moving forward. For the moment, though, we can expect that to kind of tentatively hold itself in place, right? So I think it'd be kind of, I don't know, not necessarily foolhardy, but I think it's safe to presume we won't exceed that, just based on the fact that we're probably likely already overextended. Okay, so again, 21,600 is probably the key level resistance we're going to need to close and consolidate at, and then work above eventually. Perhaps even this weekend, depending on the overall sense of the market. But again, less fear, uncertainty, and doubt based on today's push is really helping, Bitcoin and other coins too. I mean, if we look at Bitcoin dominance, we're up 3.5%. That is significant. And most altcoins are banging right now. So it tells you there's a lot of volume going into Bitcoin right now, and it's kind of nice to see that. Taking a look at the MACD, we also have a MACD convergence here that we were waiting on previously, and it finally happened. So it's kind of a green light to let us know that, hey, long positions are very viable at this point, and the likelihood of being successful with a short is I would say fairly low right now, just based on the sense that we have such momentum and we're breaking through such key level resistances, and so many shorts got liquidated. It makes sense that the bulls have their way with things right now, right? The shorts are kind of just hanging out on the sidelines waiting to take their profits because there's so much strength in the market right now, okay? very positive there in that sense as well. So taking a look at the 4-hour, let's go ahead and quickly note that we are, I wouldn't say we're overextended, but we're getting up there. We're at a 6 on TD sequential, or hypothetically, when you think about it, we're actually only at a 4 in regard to the most recent increases. So you got to keep in mind that this overextension works itself outside of the standard deviation, right? You can see Bollinger Bands are well overextended. So I know a lot of folks that do the Bollinger Band plays, a lot of them had some trouble recently, at least some folks I know outside of my trading community. And the main reason why is because it's overextended, you expect it to pull back, and it hasn't yet. So you got to keep in mind, this is overextended, there's no doubt. And a pullback would make sense. But it also makes sense that the price action would sustain itself considering how many shorts got squeezed out and just the strength and volume here today. So the cool thing is the volume isn't like dramatically, shot into one candlestick. It's spread out evenly. So we got a consistent amount of volume continuing the price action higher, and that's a very, very positive sign. So I really like what I see here. I don't love that we're over 70 on the RSI on the 4-hour, but commonly when you see that happen, it can work as a support level. So, hypothetically, the price action just say goes sideways, RSI will calm down, and then you can see that leg up again once it consolidates. So it's a common practice to see that happen once you break through. And of course, we got a MACD convergence that occurred yesterday, which is part of the main reason why we took a long position in multiple coins yesterday, and we've taken some significant profits here. With Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum. There was another one I missed. I think it was CHR that we missed, but generally speaking, very, very good stuff here in the overall sense of things. So the 4-hour, while it is slightly overextended, it's still a healthy continuation. All right. And what I mean by healthy is that, even though this was a pretty significant push up and it did push us outside the standard deviation on the Bollinger Bands, it was still able to slowly contract sideways and continue higher without having to, get rejected off of that. Okay, same thing with volume weight average price. The volume weight average price is fantastic. I mean, you take a look at this here, you can see that we're not outside the standard deviation lines whatsoever. And this support level here, right at about 20,600, is continuing itself higher, and that'll average itself out as a support level. So what's great about this is the amount of volume that we're seeing, the increased amount of volume, is complementary to the amount of actual increase that we're seeing. And in turn, even though the Bollinger Bands are overextended, at least previously, the volume weight average price tells us and confirms that we're not extremely overextended, and this is still a healthy continuation. Again, because we have the volume to back up this push. If we had low volume right now, this wouldn't make any sense. I would say short your ass off. Pardon my French, but you get what I'm saying here. It is definitely something that you want to kind of pay attention to. Volume speaks very loud. No pun intended there. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at the Ichimoku cloud and just confirm here. Of course, we got a tremendous amount of momentum here, conversion lines above the baseline, lagging spans free and clear of price action, and of course we have a nice strong continuation up here with the cloud. So honestly, if you're going to short right now, it would be kind of ridiculous to do so. Again, just because of this being a very healthy continuation, while it is true that we are overextended, we're well past a 9 on TD sequential, it still has enough volume to continue higher. And what we want to recognize too is we have this strong amount of volume weight average price, like in other words, the VWAP line itself is averaging itself at 20,600 presently. So the price were to pull back, we should expect some support around 20,600, 20,800, maybe even 21,000, which was a previous resistance level. Okay, so a lot of strong things happening right now that really just lead me to believe that we're going to see Bitcoin continue higher. And this should be a nice push, because in the larger time frames, I mean, again, I know it's tentative for the moment, but we're going to be making higher lows almost regardless, right? Unless the price action plummets, we're going to be making higher lows. We're no longer making lower highs. We haven't made higher highs in how long? I don't know how long it's been. This is the first higher high. Again, the candlestick hasn't closed yet. Let's not get too crazy. But generally speaking, with everything we're seeing here so far, there's much more positive than negative. And the fact that we're breaking through a lot of trend lines and resistance levels, short squeeze, getting just squeezed out, as well as the tremendous amount of healthy volume and a nice continuation. I think we're looking very solid here to see the price action stay close to where it's at, consolidate effectively sideways for the next however long, and maybe over the weekend. The weekend's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens this weekend, because a lot of times weekend behavior can be very strange, just based on traditional markets being closed. So I'm expecting some consolidation sideways in this range here between 21,000 and 21,600, and then inevitable retest of 21.6, and then a break to essentially smash through that key level resistance. So again, please be careful shorting anything right now. I know it seems very juicy because it's extremely overextended, but this is a healthy overextension, and I don't see that being a problem at all. This is a great step in the right direction, and it's a nice, happy, green Friday for a change. We haven't seen this in quite some time. So again, celebrate the small stuff, take your profits where you can, but at this point, if you have a long position open, you want to just continue to leave it open because there's no reason to close it just yet. All the indicators are telling us that we're in good shape right now, okay? So again, fantastic stuff there. Very last thing I want to look at here, I didn't look at the simple moving averages. This is one last thing to kind of note. We can see the 50-day simple moving average working its way down. It's going to average itself out pretty close to that 21,600 or 22,000 range. So I would just be, I wouldn't say cautious, but cautiously optimistic here in the sense that the price action should face some resistance as it continues to push up. If we see a type of pennant pattern forming, we can expect a leg up from there, especially if it consolidates at this previous resistance level, okay? So what I'm looking for is a break above 21,600 with a nice consolidation at that area, and then that would be confirmation to take a long position and that we have a tentatively, short-term bull run. Okay, I say tentatively short-term because, again, this doesn't confirm that we're back on track, okay? This just helps us get on track, and it breaks that descending trend, those lower highs and lower lows that we've been experiencing for too long. We're now making higher highs, and this is a positive sign. Just know this is a transitionary time frame here where we're not essentially in the green just yet, even though it's very nice to have a 10% day from Bitcoin. All right, hopefully that made sense how I described that to you. Thank you so much for watching. That's all we have for today. We'll go ahead and take a look at this again tomorrow. Hope you have a good rest of your time. If you're not currently a community member, again, CryptoCache.tech is the site. Look forward to working with you. Have yourself a great rest of your day. Thanks again.